Craniosacral pumps. And craniosacral pumps are used in craniosacral qigong and in the kind of practice we do in the Maha Yoga world. So these indicate to you are ways of getting the cerebrospinal fluid to move freely along and through the spine, engaging and opening to get fluid flow in and around the brain and all up and down the spine. So there's a range of practices that can really enable this. Some of the breath holding practices I find really useful, so I'm in breath hold, and there are different hand positions that can really help to engage those pumps. Before we go there, first of all though, just getting some movement in your pelvis and your sacrum here, and pumping the pelvic floor. You've got the 3-wave practice in the pelvic floor, so you've got access to the pelvic floor musculature to be able to squeeze and lift. So it's about squeezing and lifting and sending that energy up the spine, around the sacrum, up through the lumbar spine, up through the back of the heart, up through the back of the neck, all the way into the brain. And start to get that pumping feeling up in around the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. Remember, the pituitary gland is just below the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus is part of the brain tissues, but that feeds into the pituitary gland and informs the pituitary gland about how all the hormonal system in the body has to be operating. So when we can get this massaging around the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, we're going to create high levels of well-being. And if you look at somebody like Dr. Joe Dispenza, he's really big on this kind of stuff and talks a lot about evolving your brain and about becoming supernatural by engaging these systems to create alignment with the cosmic flow, and then manifesting goodness, power, beauty, love, all the good things out into the world. So let's take some practice first of all. You can just wiggle your spine with the breath, breathe. You've got a spinal wave breath, which we're looking at in the methods. Full, slow, steady breath. You can do a back and forth undulation. You can do a circular undulation, circumduction like this, going round, side to side. Play with the mobility and the mobilizing of your spine. You've got the stripes and moves. You've got the moves to put in place to get this moving as well. I'm just going to change my base position here. So play with the breath and play with mobilizing and moving the spine. See how much space you can create between each vertebra. See how much movement you can find along the whole length of the spine. And don't be afraid of moving. Don't be afraid of wriggling in this and really getting some sensual experience arising in this flow. It is sensory. It is sensual. It is powerful. And from there, let's take a full deep in-breath. And I'll go through the practice and show you, and then I'll teach you. Inhale. So those hand positions are used to emphasize particular parts of the spine to enable some increased level of subtle movement and pumping to engage through from the crane, from the pelvic floor, through the sacrum, all the way up to the cranial pump, the occipital pump at the back here into the cranium. So the first hand position is the thumb tucked in, wrapped around like this, pressing onto the top of the thighs. It's quite strong pressure. And here you can really activate the pelvic floor and switch on that sacral pump, get that pump moving. The second position is the same hand position, but the hands tucked back, elbows in, pulling back slightly, and that engages you to engage around the lumbar-thoracic junction here, to really feel that area, make sure it's free and released and get that fluid movement here. The third position, you bring the hands up just above the heart, and then pull them down, switch on the pecs and the lats so you can feel the muscles around the up front and back of the chest switching on. Pull these hands down, and that gets you right into the back of the heart space, into the back of the chest, which is quite difficult to reach into. Next position here, right here, press the palms together. Press the palms strongly together, engage again just above the heart, up into the throat, thumbs into the pit of the throat here like this, hands to the brow, palm at the back of the neck, and then open up the palms, reach to the sky, reach into the cosmos. So those are the positions again. Hands here, you'll be holding your breath, you'll be pumping through the spine. And release. Smile. You can do those positions as you're breathing as well. But I do find them most useful in the breath hold. That's where they're strongest. And that's where they're going to really get you into feeling that relationship between breath holding and alignment and clarity of flow through the whole system and get those craniosacral pumps really working. So that's a little bit on craniosacral pumps. Enjoy those practices. You've got many years of practice in that one to really find out how much beauty and goodness you can reap on this planet. Thank you.